joined with Brad Langille from GoGold. Brad, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So this is the first time we've had the opportunity to chat. You're part of a company here that's just raised a whole bunch of money. I know you guys are called GoGold, but from looking at your marketing materials, it looks like you guys measure a lot of stuff in silver equivalent. So let's start out talking about precious metals here. You've been in the space, I imagine, for a long time, and you've got thoughts. You've been following the precious metals markets. What's going through your head right now when you think about what's happening with precious metals?
Yeah, I have been doing this for a while, about 32 years. And, I remember on the first mine I built 4 in my career now in 1999 and seeing gold at $255 an ounce. And gold has done exactly what it does. And that's why people should own some gold. It is a true long-term hedge on inflation. So, the dollar's been devalued and gold has gone up. So I think we're at a very interesting point in gold and silver, in the silver space. The other thing is everybody talks about the ratio in silver. And in my career, I've seen silver down to 38 to 1, and now it's in the 90s and probably going back to kind of the average I've seen in my career, which is, 55, 60. So $50 silver doesn't seem strange to me at all. And gold, I think this is personally, and I'm better at building mines than I am at predicting the future for
Yeah,
gold and silver,
none
but
of us have a crystal ball.
none of us have a crystal ball. But I would say if I to bet, I would bet that there's more likelihood that we might see $3,800 or $4,000 gold than we're going to see $2,300 gold again. So and it wouldn't surprise me at all. Silver hitting 50 in the next kind of couple of years.
I've got some smart guys that I talk to at events like these that usually are pretty good at having a sense of this stuff. They're not always as comfortable talking about it on camera because I don't want to be known as those guys who kind of, make those predictions. And I know that you're more operator focused, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
We need more guys like you building companies to attract more capital into the sector. But I do have to say that the sentiment in the past when gold has gone on its little runs is, okay, we're getting a little topsy here. I'm not getting that feeling at all from those people.
No, it seems like every time gold takes a step back, it's the dip is picked up,
Yeah.
and bought back up. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good run. I think I hope we're entering a longer term bull market in the precious metals. And so there's a lot of reasons, like I said, the smarter guys, I'll listen to them, but my gut, just being in this business, tells me that economics are pointing towards a real good bull market in the space. Probably the best one in my career. I think it's going to be, probably might be the best bull market in my career.
Well, look, as someone who's been in this space as a full-time career for the last, what, 5, 6 years, I hope you're right.
Yeah, so do I. But if I'm not right, how do you mitigate that risk, commodity risk? Well, you have projects that have good margin.
Yeah.
And that can work at much, much, much lower prices. So, that's what we have, right?
So let's get into that. Let's talk about GoGold. What's the high-level overview of the company?
So we are a producer. We produce about 2 million ounces a year of silver equivalent in a very interesting operation where it is as much environmental cleanup as it is production of the metal. In Parral, we've developed new technology where we take old mine waste in conjunction with a municipality of a city of about 130,000 people, and we put it 300-year old waste. We put in a good environmental state, and we make money doing that. Right now, that operation is making about 3 million US a month in free cash flow at mine site. So that pays for our exploration, pays for our development, pays for engineering, and adds money to our bank account and pays for our G&A as well on the flagship of the company, which is our Los Ricos district. So Los Ricos is about an hour and a half drive out of Guadalajara, Mexico, third largest country or city in Mexico, and great infrastructure. It's drive in, drive out, no camp, no nothing. In that mine, we have full feasibility on Los Ricos South. We're waiting for a permit. We think we're on the cusp of getting the permit. And then we're shovel ready with full feasibility to build. And then we have Los Ricos North as well. which will be the second mine in that district that we're at a PEA level study. And that one will be the next mine to build after that.
Let me ask you about Mexico right now, just because there is a lot of talk about we've got the newish president, Claudia Sheinbaum, who came in originally. The thoughts were that she wouldn't be very pro mining. Then it became okay. Well, maybe she is pro mining. Lately, we're hearing maybe not so much. What's your read on what's happening?
I think she is, first of all, very intelligent. I mean, she does have a PhD in physics, right? Um, she is uh, center left. She actually is supportive of mining. And, we've had discussions with her administration in the last days, and we're continually get the same message. No, we're supportive of mining. And I think even, with the changes in the US with the tariffs, that's making it more immediately necessary to get capital into Mexico. They're losing a lot of foreign investment because the nearshoring, onshoring is not developing the way they thought it would develop. So I would say that uh, or the foreign investment coming in from a few of the mining projects that are at the top of the list right now for a permit is becoming more and more important to them. And she has said, I mean, I don't quite understand the confusion. Sometimes there's a confusion. She'll talk about no new concessions. And we've clarified that with them. What she's talking about is there's been a prohibition on staking new claims for the last 6 years in Mexico. That's nothing new. What they're not talking about is no new mining permits. They made it very clear to us, no, we're giving out new mining permits. We want the foreign investment. We want it to be done correctly, socially, environmentally, safety. And those are the things we've always done anyway. And that's how we have got to build 4 mines in Mexico. So no, I think they are giving out permits now. They've had a backlog of permits, and it's been continual operations that were going to shut down because they needed a permit. And now they're ready to issue those new permits. And I think we'll be one of the very first to get the permit.
So you guys just raised $86 million back in April. Congratulations on that. It's great to see. I mean, we had 1 week where we just tracking the financings where we saw $750 million in financings
Right.
in just 1 week. So it's clear that it's a little bit of a, I don't know if the right term is risk on, but there's definitely money, checks being written into deals. How do you plan to use that $86 million?
So that money will be used to build Los Ricos South, to continue some exploration in the whole district, to advance Los Ricos North to a final feasibility study, and to apply for permit for Los Ricos North as well. Because GoGold is a growth company. We're a producer, 2 million ounces. Los Ricos South in production, we go to 9 million ounces. Los Ricos North is in our pipeline. So get the final feasibility done in Los Ricos North, get it permitted, and that's the follow-on after we hit full commercial production in Los Ricos South, add Los Ricos North, and that brings us to 15 to 16 million silver equivalent ounces annually of production at all-in costs, right around $12. So how are we going to finance all of that? Well, we have 135 million US cash in the bank, no debt. And, we're adding to that cash position on a quarterly basis. I think last quarter we added a couple $1 million, and probably this quarter we'll add some more. We'll be adding more cash to that. We just had our press release on production at Prowl this morning, and we're dead on, last 3 quarters, 550,000 and change ounces produced, and making around at mine site around $3 million a month of free cash flow. And also we have 8 term sheets in front of us for the project debt financing, and we've narrowed that down to a couple. And it's a competitive process where they're competing for our business. I mean, because we have the equity portion, because we have a long track record of building mines, and the studies are so advanced. Yeah.
What can you tell us about your share structure? I know that you guys just raised a whole bunch of money. You guys got significant assets, but in terms of we could say maybe some of the recent raises you guys have done, some of the large investors that you can talk about. What is it that you can tell us for the retail investors sitting at home watching this that are saying, okay, I like where this is heading, but I want to have comfort that the share structure works. What can you tell them?
Well, I would tell you that that's a very good question. And what I would say to the retail investor sitting at home and as they look at this, our industry, and you go to a conference like this, there's a lot of gold bugs, but what I've noticed is there's a lot of new people here, and these shows like this that are looking at the commodity and saying, "Hey, I'd like to get into that space." And this is a very technical business. It's a high risk business. Like, don't be fooled. It's high risk. How do you mitigate high risk? You deal with people who've done it before, and you deal with people who have strong technical teams in this business, and you deal with people who can raise the capital. Because we spend so much money, even before we ever produce a dollar. We'll spend $100 million. We'll spend, in our case, on Los Ricos, we'll have spent over $300 million. So you got to have the ability to raise money. And now our share structure, we're about 50% institutional. We're about another 20% insiders. And that includes myself, and I'd be the second largest reporting shareholder of the company. I've never sold a share in the company. I've been one of the founders for now 13 years. And we have a good base of real good retail shareholders, about 30%. So we trade a lot of liquidity. And, when you have that big base of institutional shareholders, I mean, you're dealing with people who are making their living and investing pension funds and what have you. So they're doing their homework. And why do we get that backing? Because we have a long track record dealing with these people.
Okay, Brad, last question for you. If you and I sit down at the Rural Symposium 2026 and you tell me that the last year was a successful year, what does that look like?
That means we have our permit, and I think it'll be, uh, you know, in the first part of that year. Not. I think it's very close to getting our permit. We'll have started construction on the mine in Los Ricos South. We'll continue to produce at our producing mine and making similar amounts of money. I think the commodity price 12 months from now, if I had to bet on it, I would bet that it's going to be higher. And yeah, we'll be well on our way to that next step, becoming 9 million ounces silver equivalent a year. And I think we'll, at that point, a year from now, we'll probably be talking about an advanced study in Los Ricos North and probably maybe file for a permit for Los Ricos North. We'll have more news on that.
All right. Well, Brad, thanks very much for sitting down with us. Congratulations on all the success you guys have had and the recent financing. That it's obviously a great sign for the sector. I think that this is certainly going to be one of those names that our audience is going to be watching. So let's sit down in a year and see how everything went. And I appreciate you doing this with us.
Great. Thank you.